Hi, my name is Leah and I'm a Radiology Erasmus student in Ireland. So, one of the modules I'm taking this semester is Radiography and Culture in Europe, and in that class we were asked to keep a digital diary that contains every week of the 3 months we are going to spend here. We were asked to make this as creative as we could, so I just decided to film myself doing a physical scrapbook. That way it's just way more than just a paper, and it's actually something I can keep for myself and just flip through it and have it as a keepsake for the rest of my life. I also thought it was funny to do this because while explaining this assignment, it was said that the idea behind it was to create a scrapbook, but no one actually had time to do a scrapbook, so it was just easier to do it as a digital one. And I actually really love drawing, and I bullet journal and scrapbook in my free time. So I just thought it would be fitting to put a little bit of myself and my passions into this and create something that I would probably just do anyways when I got back home, just to remember my time here. So I just hope you enjoy watching me make this and hearing about the next few weeks in my life just as much as I am enjoying the creation process so far. So, as I said before, my name is Leah and I'm a 22-year-old medical imaging and radiotherapy student from Coimbra in Portugal. I'm in my senior year of college and I just decided to make the most of my college experience by going on Erasmus. Some of you might be wondering, why Dublin? Why not any other country? I just know that a lot of people choose to go to a Central European country so they can travel and see multiple countries. For example, I had a friend that did her Erasmus in Germany, and she went to Belgium and Holland, and I think she also went to France while there. So obviously, while I'm in Ireland, I can't visit just as many countries as she probably did, but I can still visit Ireland itself, Northern Ireland, England, and maybe I'll even go to Scotland. I don't know yet. But the reason why I chose to come here was mainly because of the program itself. It just revolves around interventional cardiac imaging, which I was highly interested in because it wouldn't be something I would normally learn about in a lot of detail back home, and it was also not something I was going to do a lot and watch a lot while in my clinical placements, which will actually get about 7 weeks in clinical placement while here, so I'm excited for that. I was also really excited to visit Ireland itself just because I had a friend come to Dublin before, and my program is actually going to be over in April 1st, so I'll be spending St. Patrick's Day here in Ireland with my friends, and I'm very excited for that because it's just a very famous holiday and we really want to experience it while here. And because we got that week off, I think we'll really be able to make the most out of it. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my travel here. I was supposed to come in January 8th, but we actually had to change our tickets for January 2nd because classes were starting on the 4th. So we just had to make that quick ticket change, and it was a bit stressful in the beginning, but then when the day came it went fine. So we just got on the plane at about 9:30, and we were supposed to land in Ireland at noon, but it was actually a really quick flight, so we just got here at noon. And all the way here, I guess I wasn't aware yet what was to come, because I was just like really excited, and I didn't even like say goodbye to my mom that properly. Just I was hyped for my trip, and I guess I felt that throughout my first week, and as the week progressed, I started feeling a little bit sadder, and it really just started to hit me that I was going to spend 3 months away from home and without seeing my family. But the first day was really tiring because we lived far away from the airport, so it was just like about an hour or 2 hours on air coach, and then we had to take a cab to get to where we were staying. And we weren't sure like how cabs worked. We didn't know we had to install a certain app or anything. But I guess I was also really happy to just be here and be with friends and just figure things out and live on my own independently in a new country for the first time. I was just really hopeful for what was to come, and I really wanted to get started and just see what this country had installed for me. So yeah, as I was just saying, I was feeling just mixed emotions, and I was mostly just very happy and excited, and I was just very optimistic and hopeful for my next couple weeks here. So, as I've been saying, I came with my friends, and I actually decided to kind of dedicate this next page to my travel buddies. So, I came with two of my college best friends. They are Katerina and Beatrice. You can actually see a picture of me and Katerina in the corner there while we were going to board the plane. I also came with my boyfriend Daniel, and we are just going to stay together and live together for these next 7 weeks, which I'm nervous about because, living with friends, it's never the same as just spending a lot of time with your friends. So I guess besides getting used to a new country, we will just have to get used to each other. I must say, as I'm doing this in retrospective, has probably been one of the hardest and most unexpected parts of my time in here, just because we have different personalities and different habits, so that has been a challenge. But overall, I am thankful and grateful that I came with them. I wouldn't want to spend this adventure with anyone else. We might get on each other's nerves from time to time, but I think we mostly just have fun together, and we like to go exploring the city together and just have a good time. They are all really just nice people, and they are all really funny, so they are always making me laugh even when I'm feeling a bit sad. So it's just nice to have friends like that while I'm here. So, as I was saying, the first week we lived far away. We lived in Bernaculia, which is in the mountains of Sandyford, and we actually lived above a pub called the Blue Light Pub. But because of the restrictions at the time, it always closed at like 8 p.m., so the noise wasn't too bad. So, when we got there the first night, we actually didn't have time to go grocery shopping, so we didn't have anything to eat. So we just went down to the pub, but because we didn't know of these restrictions, we actually got there too late and their kitchen was already closed. But the guy was really nice, and he was like, just buy a couple beers and I'll make you food. And he made us some grilled cheese and ham sandwiches, and he just gave it to us for free. We just had to buy 4 Guinness beers, so that was really nice. And everyone there was really friendly as well. There were people from other countries as well, and everyone was just having a nice time. There was live music, and it was really fun. That was actually the first time that I just spent some time with the Irish people, and I just realized that it made me feel like home. I just felt like I was just hanging out with a bunch of Portuguese, because Irish people are just as friendly and warm as the Portuguese are, so that just made me feel warm inside and like I would have actually a shot of adapting. So, because we lived so far away, this first week was not as adventurous as I was hoping. Also, because we did still have to find a place to stay permanently, because we were only at an Airbnb and we could only stay there until Tuesday of the next week. So, this week we didn't do as much as we were hoping. But the first day, which was the 3rd on a Monday, we actually did take the luas for the first time. And luas in Portuguese actually means moons, and I always loved the moons, so I don't know, I was just getting good signs as like the Irish people being friendly, just the moon taking me places, I guess. And it was just making me feel like I was actually supposed to be here. But yeah, that Monday we tried to get our lip cards, but everything was closed, and we didn't know everything would still be closed by that time. So yeah, it was kind of a wasted trip in a way, because we didn't need to go to city center unless we were getting our lip cards, but we still got groceries, so that was nice as well. So on the next day, it was our first day at UCZ. We had to get up really early because we didn't have any transportations, and we did think we had a bus, but turns out we didn't really have a bus, so we just took the cab to UCD. We did some activities there to get to know the school, and we were split into groups with some Irish students. So my group was the Portuguese, and the three Irish, Patrick, Jack, and Connor, and Brit, which is a girl from Belgium. And yeah, it was just fun. We just talked to each other and walked around campus taking pictures with statues. It was nice to get to know them, and we soon started to notice some differences between our degrees in each country. Also, it was again just really nice to see how friendly Irish people are. We were telling people about our struggle trying to find a home, and the students were just like, yeah, we will help you find a place to stay. And they were just really, really nice to us. So by this time in the week, I was starting to get very emotional with a lot of mixed feelings. On one end, I really liked getting to know Irish people, especially the students. I loved the campus. It was so beautiful, so big, nothing like my school back home. But on the other hand, we didn't have a place to stay yet, and we were kind of starting to get on each other's nerves, just because we were staying at home all day, because we were so far away from everything and there were no transportation. So because of that, we were just staying at home all day, and I was trying to balance the classes with trying to find a place to stay, with the papers we were getting and the movies we had to watch for the culture module and the cardiac imaging classes, and everything was just really hard. Also, by this time, the cultural differences were starting to be very noticeable. In Portugal, everything closes, I would say, really late compared to Ireland, so we would try to go to restaurants or to get groceries at 9 p.m. and obviously everything was already closed. So those differences were also starting to get to my head. So now, skipping ahead to Friday. On Friday we actually went on a walking and museum tour arranged by the school. So the walking tour was really beautiful. We started in Molly Malone and then in Stephens Park. We got to see the statues that are like close to the Epic Museum about the famine, and Oscar Wilde's house and everything, but the weather was not nice at all. It actually rained a lot and snowed a bit that day, which is nothing like I'm used to from how hot it gets in Portugal, even at this time of the year. So that was a really hard for me to endure, because I was just getting so cold. I would say that was actually the coldest day while we were here. So in here, yeah, you can see I made a mistake. I actually put a picture from another day, and in that picture I just switched it for, you can actually see me, Katarina, Beatriz, and a girl from Finland whose name is Amelia. So that was at Molly Museum, and I really liked that museum just because it was about literature and I love reading, and it had a lot of Oscar Wilde, which is actually one of my favorite authors. So I really enjoyed that. I also really liked seeing his house and looking at the statue of him and of his wife, and there were actually some quotes that politicians chose as their favorite Oscar Wilde quote. So I just read through those, and I actually really love some of the quotes that are there. So this is actually a picture of my favorite room at this museum. It was just like a room that had some phone lines standing from the ceiling, and you could just listen to people talk about a topic. And then they had just notebooks spread throughout that table where you could just write stuff in and then just leave a letter above the fireplace, and it was just completely anonymous. I really enjoyed listening to those people just talk about the most random stuff. Some of them were crying, some of them were laughing and remembering good times. But yeah, I wrote a letter myself, and it was actually about how I was actually feeling like Dublin was becoming my home away from home. Even though I was having hard times, you will have hard times anywhere, but it's how you get through those that make the story just so much interesting. So the pictures you're about to see are actually from Sunday, but I just wanted to take a second to talk a bit about Saturday, even though I don't really have a page dedicated to it. So Saturday was the day that we got to see our first apartment, and we actually were able to stay in that apartment. So that's actually where I'm filming right now. But yeah, on Sunday, because our spirits were just so much higher, we were so happy, we went for a walk in St. Stephen's Park with a couple of other Erasmus students. So there were people from Finland, Greece, Holland, and then there were us from Portugal. So I just think we all got along super well. That was just such a fun day. Everyone was talking to each other. I just think we could all feel sympathetic for each other, being in a new country away from home, just experiencing something new, and we all wanted to make friends. So we just got talking, and we were actually just teaching each other stuff about our own countries, like what food we eat, how we say like good morning. So that was just really nice, getting to know everyone's culture just a little bit. And yeah, that was just my week. I hope you enjoyed this. Goodbye, and I'll see you next week.